For nearly 100 years, the Chicago District Golf Association has stood for excellence in this extraordinary game of golf. Now the CDGA's magazine comes to life on TV. Chicago District Golfer celebrates the traditions of the past while connecting with the present. It's a golf show that is sure to inform and to have a little fun along the way. For what's important in Chicago golf, it's Chicago District Golfer TV.
We have a blockbuster of an opening show. PGA Tour star Luke Donald stops by to give us a helpful short game tip. We'll get the skinny on what goes into course ratings, slope, and handicaps. The great Chi Rodriguez gives us a tour of his Dorado Beach Resort in sun-splashed Puerto Rico. It's time to check out the hot new equipment for 2012. We'll visit Chicago's ultimate custom club fitter club champion, and we talk to Davis Love III, the U.S. captain of this year's Ryder Cup team at Medina.
Chicago District Golfer TV is presented in part by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW centers, Wilson Golf, MB Financial Bank, Club Champion, and Athletico.
Hello everyone, I'm Jill Carlson and welcome to the season premiere of Chicago District Golfer. I'm sure you've already teed it up with the amazing weather we're having so far this spring. Well, you've no doubt noticed the slope in rating on your scorecard, but what does it all mean and who's responsible for those numbers anyway?
If pi produces 93, then it's 3 into 3.
That all sounds like a bunch of gibberish. A lot of math is involved in establishing the slope and rating of a golf course. We're talking lots of numbers. But it's also that you and I, no matter the difference in our handicaps, can play a match and compete.
Essentially, ratings are just there to establish handicaps, so that we need accurate ratings so that everybody's handicaps work correctly. Kind of sets a baseline for what score you shoot as compared to the course rating. So without ratings, there really wouldn't be a handicap system the way we know it now.
Well, slope is used to determine the handicap, and if you go from one golf course to another where slope might be low at one course and higher at the other, you shouldn't play at the same handicap level that you are with the easier golf course. And that's what slope really does, is makes your handicap transferable to another golf course.
So that explains why a course's slope and rating exist. Here's what they mean.
Well, we're determining how difficult the golf course is, and that we do it with two players, the scratch player and the bogey player. And we go to where the bogey player hits the shot, and we determine what the obstacles are. We go where the scratch player hits it. And so you have two course ratings, one for the scratch, which we see on a scorecard, one for the bogey you do not. The further apart they get, which normally happens when you have a tough golf course, the higher slope becomes.
The standard that we use in our system is 113, and that represents a course at 113 where a player's scores are expected to be one stroke higher than every other player that they're playing against handicap index. So if my handicap index was 10.0 and I'm playing against a guy who's a 0, a scratch, on a 113 slope rated golf course, we're going to be 10 shots apart. But put us on a course with a 140 slope rating and our scores may be 13 or 14 strokes apart, not just 10. So it kind of separates, it kind of determines the spread of scores, not just the difficulty of the golf course.
Well, the way it works is the bogey player we're talking about hits the ball 180 yards on the fly and rolls 20 yards, so he ends up at 200 yards, and that's where I'm measuring from here, right at 200 yards.
The USGA has a set system for grading courses, which the CDGA implements locally. There are 8 experienced graders on this day at Midlothian Country Club.
When we rate a golf course, we start with the basic thing is the starting yardage, which is very important because yardage does represent over 90% of the course rating. And we start by looking at things that might affect yardage, such as roll, dog legs, layups, prevailing wind, and elevation changes from tee to green. And we get what's called a yardage rating. Fairway width here is 27.
They also determine an obstacle rating. Pretty much everything's factored in. The width of landing zones, where hazards come into play, and the size and speed of greens, measured by a stimp meter.
Run your agreed speed. Run your speed. What did you get? 12. Well, they told us that they were running 12 yesterday, Mike, but he said normal mid-season conditions are 10.5 to 11.4. So we're not basing it on what we see today, we're basing it on what's normal.
Yeah, and that's right. Yeah.
They weigh input from the course superintendent, the head pro, even members of the club.
This green, see, if I had a shot from right here where that pin is, I got to aim at the camera crew because there's a 90-degree turn.
Midlothian's got a storied history. It's hosted U.S. Opens and Western Opens, among others. But courses change. It's important that the slope and ratings change, too.
The CDGA comes out periodically to rate the golf courses about every 6 or 7 years. We've made some changes in our golf course, primarily with the tee boxes. They've lengthened a few tee boxes. They've added a few shorter tee boxes for the ladies' forward tee boxes. It might tick up a half a stroke. The yardage is such a big part of rating the golf course that that is such a big factor.
It's time to post those scores and see where you stand with your buddies and at your home course. Up next on Chicago District Golfer, we'll take a gander at some hot new products, check in with club champion, and get a short game tip from former Northwestern and current PGA Tour star Luke Donald.